What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I want to talk about Tesla stock. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Anyways, so what's happening with the market moving forward? As you guys know, the market's holding its key supports very well, but the question is, where is Tesla going from here? How bullish is this on the much longer term? I want to talk more about those key levels. So there's a lot of good news that came out over the last couple of days for Tesla involving the Cybercab having fewer parts than the Model Y and the Model 3. And I'm talking about like 50% fewer parts. So it's going to be, very, very good for cost maintenance and efficiency. And hopefully it has very, very good margins thanks to that. And then on top of this, we have other analysts out there that are very bullish on Tesla. We're starting to see Fubon Securities coming out, and they've adjusted their price target on Tesla. It's about $472 a share. And $400 is becoming the new norm. I think Tesla's going for the big 400 mark. We're very close to it. I think there's a very good chance we do end up trying to exceed that. So we look very bullish when you look at the weekly time frame. There's a nice inverse head and shoulders like structure. We had a very, very nice looking breakout right here. So this was like a giant inverse head and shoulders that we were talking about. And we got this very, very nice breakout from there. So when you zoom out and you go to the monthly time frame, I also want to call out that we look very bullish on the monthly as well. So I don't think that there's any sign of this breaking down. And it does not make sense to short Tesla from here or quite yet because there's no sign of this thing breaking down for like the long term. This thing is looking very strong, very bullish. And I think that we're going to easily try to get back to these highs. So I think Tesla will easily go to about the 415 area. I think Tesla's going to be reaching that. If that breaks, our next target is going to be closer to 420 and beyond. So I think that there's no sign that this is slowing down, and there's going to be so much more upside potential coming, especially as we approach the upcoming week. So it doesn't make sense to be overly short or anything like that. Now, will there be pullbacks? That's a big question I'm being asked all the time. Yes, Tesla will have pullbacks eventually. So will many tickers out there. It's 100% normal. It's going to happen, guys. Do not forget about that. But from the way I see it, okay, with all of this hype involving the robo taxi, there's been a lot of talk about it being released as soon as next year, towards the end of next year, and then by early 2026, they could even be starting the much larger scale production on it. So that's huge news, okay, and that's going to be a game changer for Tesla in terms of their revenue building, and that aligns with what Kathy Wood's targets happen to be because she was also talking about how as long as they develop it much early on, they could be looking for the share price to hit the thousands by or before the end of the decade. So there's so much more upside potential for this. I think personally what's going to happen is this. I think that we're going to continue to squeeze. I think that a lot of eyes are now back on Tesla, especially after this big push, especially as we're getting very close to 400. So I expect us to hit 400 very soon into like the all-time high area. And then I think we're going to exceed all-time highs. I think that going into next year, as long as there is not a major bad piece of news, what typically happens is the first quarter is not as strong, but things tend to get much stronger later on, especially as we get closer to the summertime. So, from the way I see things, I think there will eventually be some kind of pullback phase that we get by as we get closer to like Q2. But then once that's out of the way, like I said before, guys, these are just small pullbacks, and it's going to continue to squeeze like crazy. So for me, I think that anytime this thing pulls back, it's just another buying opportunity. I think the long term is going to be very bright and it's going to make a lot of people a lot of money. I also want to say that we were calling Tesla out since this thing was in the 150s, the 140s, right? I never stopped making these videos hyping Tesla up. I've been doing this for almost 2 years now. I'm just trying to say that it's because we saw the vision for a very, very long time. And if you do not take advantage of those opportunities that we were calling out, then it's a little bit late to catch those low levels. There will be buying opportunities again in the future, sure. So that's why you have to be very, very fast. You have to be sharp. You have to be like a hawk. You have to be able to see it when the time is right. So, what is my prediction for the much longer term? Where do I think Tesla's going to go? Well, Tesla is running upon the premise of them releasing some kind of robo taxi, and the robo taxi is going to be bringing in a lot more revenue. It's also going to be improving its margins because of new cost effective strategies. So it's going to be a lot more aerodynamic and it's going to be very, very effective for, I would say, not only lower costs, but efficiency. So The robo taxi only has like 2 seats. That's going to allow a lot of people to not only be transported, but because of the less weight, it's going to be looking at a decent range and different things like that. So my view of Tesla is this: my long term target is it's all going to be hinging upon the robo taxi. If we could truly release something like that or not, I think that Kathy Wood's target is going to be correct. Her $2,500 target, if we truly get the robo taxi out within 2 years from now, if it's truly out and they truly achieve it, that's going to be a big game changer. If not, if it takes longer, then for us to hit $2,500 a share, it's going to take even longer. It may take like another decade to get there, but nonetheless, Tesla is extremely bullish. Optimus is also very bullish. Everything's bullish about Tesla, in my personal opinion. I can't wait to see what else the future holds. Now, I also want to say this, and this is what I said in my earlier videos. I personally believe that the robotaxi will be coming out. I just don't know about the timing. That's the one thing that I'm not as sure about. But besides that, just like what Morgan Stanley analysts have been saying, I think Tesla's going to be looking for a big sales push. So investors are going to be looking for a 20 to 30% growth overall for 2025. And let's hope that their sales continue to push. To get those sales up, let's hope that we not only expand our capacities, but we see a lot more growth. And I think that Tesla's going through a transition phase where people are not only just focused on the cars now; they're more focused on the robo taxi, their AI sector. And I think that's going to be a big game changer for the future. So my view is very simple. I think Tesla's going to hit the 400s before the year ends. I think we're going to be hitting at least 400, if not 415 a share. And then I also think that as we continue to grow and break all-time highs, there will be some kind of pullback phase, possibly after like the first quarter, depending on how deliveries and such go. But, but Tesla will continue to squeeze as 2025 continues. And I think the reason that's going to continue and Tesla's going to continue to break all time highs, eventually hit the 500s, I think that's going to happen because of the robotaxi and because of Elon Musk's role in politics. I know a lot of people are like they think that's very contentious. The thing about that is, sure, think whatever you want, but what Musk is doing is brilliant for Tesla. Musk has said that he is in support of EV tax credits being reduced. He knows it's going to hurt Tesla for the short term. Yes, it will, but it's going to hurt their competitors more. And then Elon Musk isn't even worried about that because of the fact that he's confident their sales are going to be fine, and simultaneously he's confident about the AI sector that Tesla's now going to be prioritizing, because that's going to be even bigger than just their car sales alone as many years progress. So that's my view, guys. It looks very, very bullish to me. There's no doubt in my mind that this will continue to squeeze. And for the short term, I do see us hitting the 400s. We could be approaching 415 a share. For the long term, there will be some pullbacks here and there, but we're going to continue to squeeze. As long as we get the robotaxi out, this squeeze is going to continue for many years. Okay, as long as we get that robotaxi out, the Cybercab within a couple of years, Tesla is going to continue to explode. And then we're going to be breaking all-time highs again and again and again. And Kathy Wood's targets will eventually be met, whether it happens by the end of the decade or if it happens within a decade from now. That's my view, guys. The long term just remains very, very bullish. One more thing I want to say about Tesla, at least in terms of its share price, for the shorter term, just know this. Excuse me, we're still very bullish on the 4 hours. So as soon as we open on Monday, this thing might just go for 400. I think 400 is easily going to be met. In fact, we might even surpass 400. So there's a lot of momentum building, and I think that there's a good chance we hit that resistance. Now, what about SPY? I also want to talk about SPY in this video. So all these people are saying SPY is, it's going to crash. We're due for some kind of pullback, this and that. My view is very simple. I think that it's possible we do get some kind of pullback. Maybe. There's no confirmation of this getting a big rejection yet. There's a possible double top leg structure, but there's no sign of us getting a huge rejection. So for the people out there who are saying the stock market's going to crash, this and that, I think it doesn't make sense to say that, because if you zoom out of SPY, we're riding our 4-hour 20 EMA. We're above that. We've been stuck above that for a very long time. There's no sign of us losing 605. There's no sign of us losing 601 to 50 EMA. So we're bullish. We're straight up bullish. Anytime we dip, whether we dip back down to 600, we're going to continue to get bought back up. All the dips just keep on getting bought back up. There's no sign of us getting some kind of crash. Okay, I'm making that very, very clear right now. And if we do get some kind of pullback, what's going to most likely happen is we dip a bit, then we just get bought back up afterwards. So if a SPY does have a double top here, if we do end up dipping to like 602 or so, this will get recovered, and we're going to be looking for another break of all-time highs and a continuation of our squeeze until closer to the end of December. So we're bullish. We're very, very bullish. There's no sign that the market is done yet. The pullbacks have been very minor, and it does not make sense to turn into a perma bear up here because the trend is still very, very bullish. Could we get a small pullback? It's possible, but it's only going to be another buying opportunity. So please keep that in mind. Look at the QQQ. There's no sign of this getting a big rejection either. Could we get a small pullback? Sure. It's always possible. We hit 523.6, which is where the resistance was, but there's no sign of this rejecting. It's just continuing to make higher highs and higher lows. We're above 520 and 513.94. Those are key EMAs. No sign of a break on that. When you look at the monthly chart on the QQQ, just like this, um, wait, hold on. I'm looking for the monthly chart, not the 30 minutes. Give me 1 second, guys. On the monthly time frame, check this out. We remain very strong and very bullish right now. There's no sign of this being done yet. The weekly is also quite decent. I do want to call out the resistance we're at. So be a little bit careful at that particular level, but just know we still look very strong. And when you have very, very strong looking weekly bars like this, we tend to continue continue to uptrend. So there could be a small pullback before we continue to push. If we do get some kind of pullback, we will just continue to pump afterwards anyways. So I'm not really worried. I would say the QQQ, SPY, and all of these remain bullish. There's no sign of these stopping quite yet. All right. So for all the people out there who are saying the market's going to crash, I beg to differ. I don't think the stock market's going to crash. I think we're on a very, very strong uptrend, and any pullbacks that come are just going to be big buying opportunities. That's what my view is right now. For Tesla, I have the same view. There's going to be a lot of sectors that are going to, bring in a lot of growth for the company, from energy storage, not to mention their Optimus robot for the long term. So the long term is very bright, and the share price is nowhere near how high it's going to go in the future. The speed at which it reaches these new highs and particular targets like the thousands depends on how fast they get that robo taxi out. I think Tesla's getting closer every single day. So we'll see when Tesla announces that. And with that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. I do believe Tesla will hit the 400s very soon, as soon as Monday, perhaps. And then we'll have to be a little careful once it gets to all-time highs, but nonetheless, regardless of what happens, it's still going to continue to squeeze towards the end of the month and also going into next year. All right. Thank you all so much for listening. Please have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Thank you and peace out.